Everyone, I am Solomon Lederer, co-founder of Blockmatics, and today we are going to talk about PixEOS, which is a collaborative art game or just art project that is on the EOS blockchain. So that means a lot of the mechanics in terms of buying portions of the canvas, actually we'll see later, they're individual pixels. That is all done on the EOS blockchain, and the way funds are kind of distributed within this system as well is managed by a smart contract. So first, just to do a little bit of a background of what we even mean by collaborative art. So a good example of this would be something that Reddit did a couple of years ago. It was actually it started as an April Fool's joke. It turned into something pretty serious. It turned into this thing over here. I can show you. This was this collaborative canvas where everybody got access to a pixel, I believe, every 5 minutes. So anyone on the Reddit website or ever had a Reddit account can draw a pixel. All in all, there were 16 million pixels that were drawn. Over 1 million people got involved. Even when this finally ended, there was like around 100,000 people that were still active on it. So you can see the end result is pretty cool. You have down here, here's the Ethereum logo. We got the Bitcoin logo over here. Kind of really love how they made this little start button on the side here. So this is part of the subreddit called Place, our place. So PixEOS is incorporating this element with their app. In addition, there is this idea of creating a token of ownership. It's called a non-fungible token or an NFT token that represents your ownership of the artwork. So it's almost like a deed or a title that is on the blockchain. And this is something that has been done or is being done in other places as well using a blockchain. This is a company called SuperRare that is doing this on Ethereum. So you have these digital artworks, which it has a corresponding token that is on Ethereum. And essentially whoever owns that token is considered to be the owner of that digital piece of art. So there's a lot of interesting things happening with art in the blockchain. Here there's even an article. Is art blockchain's killer app? I think it is. This is actually talking about, again, where either the ownership or a sale is recorded on the blockchain. So here, even Christie's themselves, they recorded a sale on the blockchain. Art world meet blockchain. So PixEOS is combining these two elements. Number one is the fact that you can collaborate on drawing this one piece of art, and then number two, selling the art for that has a NFT token or this digital token that's on the blockchain that's associated with that piece of art. There are a lot of actually really cool mechanics, the way they're kind of doing both of these. We're going to even run through the drawing portion of it, and then I'll explain also, of course, the auction as well. This is their website. Pretty cool. Definitely check this out. But we're just going to jump right in to first actually playing the game itself. And I call it a game because there's a little bit of a gamification element in terms of getting pixels and then buying pixels that are already owned by other people. So just click on play now. So this is what the canvas looks like currently. It's pretty new. This only launched a few days ago. It's pretty rough. As you could see, as soon as I went to this page, this little app over here, Scatter, popped up. So you're going to need this app as well in order to connect to the EOS blockchain. So anytime you're drawing, or at least claiming pixels on this canvas, you have to pay a little bit with EOS tokens, and that payment is going to be managed through your Scatter app. Scatter, at least, is the easiest way to do it. You could just go to their website, getscatter.com. So not only do you need this app, which acts like a wallet and a gateway to EOS, but you also need to create an account on the EOS blockchain. For that, you can go to this website, eosaccountcreator.com, where you can make one. There is a little bit of a fee. I think it's about $1 worth in order to create an account on EOS. Alternatively, you could get a free account through the PixEOS team or PixEOS group themselves. If you go onto their Telegram, and you could message any of the admins over there, and they will set you up, or they'll give you a free account. And of course, you can find their Telegram group through the website. It's down here on the left side on the bottom. All right, so getting back, that Scatter app popped up saying that it wants to connect with Scatter. I'm going to log in here with Scatter. And here we can just try to find something to paint over. So let's say over here, I'm going to, you could pan around a little bit. It extends further down here. People are putting some flags. I mean, that's kind of very similar to what happened with that big Reddit canvas over here too. You can see a lot of flags because people had to coordinate, or people from different subreddits would paint, get together and say, okay, let's paint the American flag. And there actually was, I know, a bit of a turf war going back and forth where the flag was overpainted, and then people got back and they were like, no, we need to have the American flag up there, and they were each fighting for this space. So let's try to find something here to paint. I see there's, for instance, like a rainbow over here, right? And somebody was like overpainting some of these rainbow pixels. We can try to, I would overpaint them as well, but I actually do want to show you what happens when you're painting like a brand new pixel. So let's just scroll around here. We can even do something as simple as like fix this little love letter right here, right? So we can just add in like 2 pixels if we'd like to. So first we can use this color drop, the eyedropper, to get that purple color. We can see that on the left side. And I have to click this login with Scatter, just see if that's working. I'm going to reload this page because for some reason that part was not connecting. Try that again. Scatter is open. Because when it's connected, I should be able to actually have access to the paintbrush, which for some reason isn't happening now. I'm going to try quitting Scatter, reopening that when all fails. Naturally, since I'm doing this live, I end up with some hiccups. So let's jump into here. And if you ever use the EOS blockchain, rather the Ethereum blockchain, there's a very popular app called MetaMask. Scatter is very similar. It actually did start out as being a Chrome plugin, but now they've actually migrated to just a separate application. But nevertheless, the browser should be able to communicate with it. And I say should because even though it's been working before, maybe because I X'd out of this. I have to hit this login. Okay, now we're in. So it says up here Blockmatics1, which is my account. And now we are ready to paint. I have access to that paintbrush. It shows I so far painted 0 pixels. Let's zoom in on this. Where was that love message? Here we go. So for each pixel you paint, you have to pay 0.05 EOS, which is roughly current market price that comes out, I believe, about 12 cents. So let's just do 2 here, just to close that, and it shows 2 pixels by pixel, so that should be about 0.1 EOS. So that's like 25 cents. Confirm that. Now, when I hit confirm, this scatter pops up. Again, this is my gateway to the EOS blockchain. I hit allow. I think my computer is just a little bit glitchy because I've got a few things running. So I think that did confirm. Yeah, and then this just reset to 0 pixels, and now those 2 purple pixels are filled in. So I don't know what's happening over there. Never actually seen that message before. We can just refresh this. Now, if somebody wants to paint over my pixels, they would have to pay a bit more. So let's say if somebody over here, for instance, there's a little picture of Mario. If I wanted to be a jerk and just paint over those pixels, and let's say I want to erase Mario's mustache, or making it purple rather. So it's kind of hard to see, but I can zoom in there. So now I kind of messed up Mario a bit, and now I hit buy pixels. Now 5 pixels should be 0.25 normally, but you'll see it'll actually be a bit more. It's 0.32, and the reason is because if you're buying a pixel that has been previously bought, you have to pay whatever the previous owner paid, and that money goes to them. And in addition, you have to pay a 35% premium, which gets divvied up in various ways among all the participants on the canvas. And I'm going to get into that and how that gets divvied up. So that's really the interesting part about how this app is designed. I'm just going to cancel this. I don't want to actually buy that. I'm actually going to close this recording on the side here because it seems to be a bit choppy, but at least we can get the screencast. We'll keep going. So 2 things I need to point out. Number 1, when you buy pixels, you're paying for it in EOS tokens, but you get in return PixEOS tokens. And you can see over here, we're going to look at a blockchain explorer. This is eospark.com. It's an EOS blockchain explorer. We're going to look at my account right here. And if we scroll down, we can see this was the most recent transaction where we paid from the Blockmatics account to PixEOS Paint 0.1 EOS. Right after that, in return, we got back 10 PixEOS, meaning for 0.1 EOS, we got back 10 PixEOS, so that's a ratio of 100 to 1. So for every 1 EOS you spend, you would get 100 PixEOS tokens. So you're getting these tokens in return, which can be then used in various ways. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes, but the other aspect that I also wanted to focus on was what I said is that if you're buying pixels that have been previously bought or painted, you're paying the 35% premium. Again, the base price will go back to the person that purchased them before. So if somebody were to buy those 2 purple love pixels that we just bought, they would have to pay me 0.1 EOS, and in addition, they would pay 0.035 EOS. Again, that's a 35% extra on top, which gets allocated for various bonuses, which then gets distributed to all the participants on the canvas. So to see that breakdown a bit more, let's jump to the PixEOS white paper, which really breaks this down in detail. You can get to the white paper through the website, and this is it. Probably the coolest image I've ever seen on a white paper. There's one up here at the top, and you have it again at the end over here. It's the same image, just in another, almost like a negative color scheme. So if we jump to the crux of it, which is really at page 3, as I said, you draw pixels, you get PixEOS tokens in return. Now, for those, not only are you getting those PixEOS in return, you're also now in the running to get all these patron bonuses, and these almost like you think of these dividends. Let's skip to the next page, which actually breaks it down further. So at number 1, we said each pixel has a price of 0.05 EOS, and the next person needs to pay 1.35 times whatever you paid. And where you're getting back 100%, that 35% extra gets broken out into 7 categories. There are 7 categories here. The first category, which is actually 2, they broke it out into 2 parts. There are these 2 kind of patron bonuses. And that is 40% of this 35% is allocated to a 24-hour patron bonus. This part actually equates to 28%. So 28% goes to a 24-hour patron, which is anyone who participated in the last 24 hours. Whether you're buying or selling, whether somebody bought your pixel, you bought someone else's pixel. Obviously, this is all in proportion to the amount of activity or the amount of money that was involved with the purchase of these pixels. So in proportion to that, you get an allotment of that 24-hour patron bonus. Also, even if you're outside the 24-hour window, there's an all-time patron. So that is, if you have ever participated, even going way, way back, your pixel was maybe overwritten a long time ago, you still get, equates to 12%. That's 12% of this 35% bonus. Then there is another 10% that goes to the third pot, which is the 24-hour pot. So this goes to only those that are buying a new, sorry about that. That goes to only those that are buying a new pixel within the past 24 hours. So you get an extra bonus there as well. Now this is the really interesting one, which I alluded to a little bit before. 20% goes to the staking system. What that means is when you get those PixEOS tokens as your kind of reward or compensation for the EOS that you spent, as we said over here, we're getting back these PixEOS tokens. What can you do with them? Well, one of the things you can do with them is stake them in the system, meaning that you assign them back into the PixEOS Paint smart contract. I believe there's even a mechanism here. Yeah, this little piggy bank right here is my ability to now deposit. I've actually never done this before, but I have here in my account, there's 186 PixEOS tokens. Let's just do that, try that right now. I'm going to stake 186 of them. And of course, this is another interaction with the blockchain. So that is, I have to now allow this transaction and success. And we can even go back to the Blockchain Explorer and just see what just happened over there. So here we go. Let's refresh. And there should be some other interaction here where we were transferring our tokens back to and here it is. So we're assigning these PixEOS tokens back to the PixEOS smart contract. It's probably a contract call. I'm trying to really get into more details over here. But anyway, now that they're staked, now what? Well, what happens is you get actually rewards for that stake. So this 35% premium, 20% of that goes into the staking system. So you're actually earning EOS tokens over time. In addition, I should point out here as well that you actually earn more PixEOS tokens over time. I believe the team said that they're going to distribute another 10 million PixEOS tokens, or just going to sort of airdrop them in to PixEOS stakers over the next 6 months. So you're going to be getting a lot more PixEOS over time. On top of that, if we jump down to this one right here, where it says 15% goes to the developer team, they've also said that of this 15%, a portion of it, I believe 25%, will also be used to just go to the staking system as well. There's also a few percent that gets paid to as a referral reward. That is, every time you paint a pixel, you get a referral link, which can then, anybody that paints using that link will get that. You get that reward from their participation. And then there's a few percentage that also goes to the EOS RAM payments. That's essentially EOS network fees. If there is no referral to be paid, that gets put into the 24-hour pot, and also whatever overage of these payments goes into the staking system, if I remember correctly. And it breaks this down a lot more. There's a couple of little details over here. Number one is that the canvas only starts, or the ability to actually withdraw all these bonuses only starts after 150,000 pixels have been painted. Currently, with this first new canvas, we've already passed 150,000. So all those bonuses are active. As we said, there's the patron bonuses, and then there's these 24-hour pot as well. Then here it talks about how the game ends, and when the game ends, this gets into the other component where we have the PixEOS art gallery, where that, so let's see, we have the blockchain gallery and becomes a valuable non-fungible token that can be bought as a collectible, sold, and traded. So that gets into sort of that mechanics that we showed before about what Super Rare is doing. So that token, now here's the other cool part, when that token gets sold, the proceeds of it also get distributed to those who participated in drawing the canvas. It seems like it's not completely clear how that money gets distributed, but they do say that the more involvement you had, I guess, at the very end of this canvas, meaning that your pixels were not bought by painted by anyone else, so you would then earn more of that auction. So the more you earned, the less you get from the canvas auction, meaning the more you earned by just playing or painting on the canvas directly through having your pixels bought by other people, or maybe the amount you've earned in all these bonuses, because there is some, I believe the very last bonus maybe will have very little money in it. You know, when the game finally ends, there won't be much of a final bonus to allot to the last 24-hour painters. A bit more about the referrals. We're just going to run, and that's really the whole thing in terms of this painting application. I will say though that PixEOS is trying to go way beyond just this painting app, and if you actually go to their website, you can see that there is a bit of a roadmap. Let's see if we can find it over here. So actually, let's see if we can just open up that image directly. Actually, I believe if I remember correctly, it's image and roadmap. Okay, so this is what we just described. They initially had a token sale where that was the first release of these PixEOS tokens, just through their token sale, which ended a week or two ago. This is the PixEOS Paint app. Then the staking system is live as well, which we just did. Next up is going to be this NFT art gallery, which is, as we said, when the painting is finished, then it goes into this gallery where the token is created, which can then be sold. After that, they're also planning on implementing another component where there's an auction house. So some of these paintings will be also put up for auction. And the way funds from the auction gets distributed is also in a very interesting and novel mechanism where the proceeds of the auction don't just go to basically what the highest bidder paid also gets distributed partly to the second and third and fourth highest bidder. So it doesn't just go to the artist, it also goes to, so that's an incentive mechanism for people to bid as well. So it's not, and also it's not a total loss. If you miss the highest bid, you know you're also getting some reward in return. I believe that is also described in the white paper. Yeah, so if you go further down to this with the roadmap that's described over here, so there is right here, it says 60% goes to the bidders, 35% to the highest bidder. So even the highest bidder gets back a portion of their bid, and then so on and so forth for the second and third highest bidder. And then even the next 10 bidders get a certain percentage as well, which is pretty cool. After all that, finally at the end, they're going to create a PixEOS art house. So that just sounds to me more of a marketplace where you can commission different works of art made by some of these artists, and also buy certain merchandise, whether it's t-shirts or pins or whatever it is that artists want to put up there. So I should say that even when it comes to this art gallery as well, different artists could submit their artwork to be featured in this art gallery. So it won't just have paintings that are created through the Paint app. So the idea is that they want to also be a platform similar to what Super Rare is doing, where you can just have your artwork up here and featured. And I believe that really covers the whole system. I'm not quite sure what this new games and dApps part is. I don't think that's really described in the white paper, but you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And this was the art house, which I did talk about, where you can get maybe stickers, logos, things like that. I think this is a really cool app. I encourage you to play around with it. Of course, you do need to have an EOS account. You do need to have Scatter. You do need a little bit of EOS tokens to get started on this. But I really think that this is just going to gain a lot more momentum in the coming year. So be sure to follow us on Blockmatics, subscribe and like this video. Also follow us on other social media platforms. And then finally, check out our website, blockmatics.io. You can subscribe to our newsletter and also check out different courses that we have on different aspects of blockchain technology. So this is us right here. Until next time, hope you have fun learning and playing with this app.